Hello, everyone. My name is Param Singh, and I'm the director of the Clinical Operations Solution Practice within Perficient's Life Sciences Business Unit. My team and I have been designing, configuring, implementing, and supporting CTMS applications for over 20 years now, and we're consulted by our clients on a variety of different requirements and enhancements to meet their specific business needs in clinical operations. And today we're going to be looking at requirements around clinical supplies management and how we can track clinical supplies within Oracle's Siebel CTMS solution. Today we're going to be covering 3 cost-effective methods and options that we can utilize to track clinical supplies within Oracle CTMS. There certainly can be other custom options as well, but those typically will take more cost and effort. So we're going to be looking at cost-effective methods that we can use to implement clinical supplies within Oracle CTMS. The first we're going to look at is the out-of-the-box capability. How can we use out-of-the-box Siebel CTMS to track clinical supplies? Secondly, we'll look at an option where we can build on top of the out-of-the-box capability and add a few very, very simple enhancements to track specific information around clinical supplies. And then lastly, we'll look at a medium configuration option where we're going to be building something new within or configuring something new within Siebel CTMS to track clinical supplies more specifically.
First, we can look at Siebel Clinical out of the box and see what our options are. Well, we can use the existing activities views for site management to track various records for supplies here, and just use the vanilla fields and add descriptions and comments related to each activity. You can also add supply-specific activity types values to differentiate from other general activities within the system. So here, in this scenario, we're on our particular site. We're going to go into activities, and we'll create a new activity. Now, I've added some list of values here that we're going to use, but you could customize this any way you see fit. So I'm going to choose other activity types. I added a supplies, and you can put in some description of supplies in the description column. And then we can add in dates or sent dates, expected dates, received dates, completed, whatever whichever one is actually relevant. And then we can add additional comments here to say maybe the shipping and lot numbers. You could also add that in descriptions as well. But you can use the existing field to basically put in your description of this clinical supplies. And then under the last name, first name, we can choose, whoever this particular clinical supplies are being shipped to. So right out of the box, we can use the out of the box functionality and actually track supplies as an activity. And therefore, you can also search through and filter out and look at just supplies activities within this list. Now, the pros and cons of this are pretty evident here. Yes, you can use out of the box capability, but you're going to look at activities. There could be general activities here. There could be visits here. So all of your activities actually are going to live in the same view. So it doesn't necessarily differentiate between other activities. And then the other thing is, we're looking at putting in descriptions and lot numbers in a description field and a comments field, which again is not really searchable and usable from a reporting standpoint. The second option that I mentioned, really just builds on top of the out-of-the-box functionality, which makes it a bit more specific to the data that we're tracking. You would still add supply-specific list of values. You would still add an activity type, and maybe you could differentiate and say ancillary supplies or investigational products, or you can customize these. But then what we suggest is potentially adding additional custom fields for lot number or shipping number, units shipped, units returned, destroyed, expiration date, things like that. So we could just customize this view to add additional fields that would only be used when you're tracking a supplies type of activity. Now, again, the pros are, it's still pretty inexpensive and quick to implement. And now we have specific fields, so it's a bit more easier to query and for supplies record in the long list of general activities and documents. So you can still query off of lot number and shipping number at expiration date, but it's still sitting alongside with other activities, and it seems a bit cluttered. So the last option, I'm just going to switch to another system here where we have that enabled or configured. It's a bit more configuration in creating a brand new view under site management to track and manage supplies. And so here we can add customized fields and track individual sort of inventory specific supplies data. So here in this example in the demo, I'm going to go into one of my sites where I have some supplies tracked. So here I go into the site and there's a specific supplies view. And here you can see that I've tracked investigational product and ancillary supplies. This is all separate from the other activities. So you can put in a description. We can put in we added shipping company, shipment number, lot numbers, equipment serial numbers. If you're sending, additional equipment to the site, you can actually track serial numbers. You can track shipment dates. We've added custom fields here, unit shipped, return destroyed, expiration dates, when the site actually received the supplies. If they returned them or destroyed them, we want to get confirmation of when those were returned and destroyed. You could also, again, have the same thing of, a specific recipient shipped to, as well as comments. So in this example, again, the pros are pretty evident here. It's much easier to manage these records and search and report off them as well. This is still pretty straightforward configuration for CTMS. And the only con would be it's a bit more expensive than the other two options, which we're utilizing out of the box functionality. And here we're doing a bit more development. The other one key advantage I will add just to close this out is, when you're tracking supplies to site management, the other capability that you can do when you have a separate view is actually roll that up to your region level. So here, if I go to that same protocol under regions, I can see all of the supplies for each of the sites within that region, and then at the study level as well. So if I go highest level at the study, and had we added some supplies to sites that were outside of the U.S., you would see those here as well. So, clear advantages of organizing this effort. This becomes its own sort of sub-module, supplies module when we do this type of configuration within the system. So there you have it. These are 3 different viable options for adding capabilities to tracking clinical supplies in your Oracle Siebel CTMS system.
I hope this short video was helpful in showing you the different options that you have in implementing clinical supplies tracking capability within your system. If your organization has any needs or requirements, enhancements related to CTMS or any life sciences application or solution, please reach out to our team so we can schedule a meeting to discuss in detail. Thank you.